All right, so I'm done here, heading home now. An hour and 1 minute. Okay, that's a long drive. It's gonna be a lot of the same heading home, so maybe a lot of fast forwarding, but press and hold to start FSD. It'd be great if this got solved, but I don't know. Oh, okay, maybe. Good job there. That was very confident and smooth and quick. I'd have to do it a few more times to be certain, but we were really close to the curb and we started going without that object and path, please take over. And then we got close to the car and still pulled out confidently versus there's been times where it does that and then stops or slows down to go around. So that was really well done there. With that said, I would love if the car just backed up for like, we had a little bit more room to back up so that when we pulled out, yeah, it did it, but holy, it was close. And it gives me a little bit of stress that the car was gonna hit the car in front of it. I know we didn't, and in the future, for sure, the car, if it needs to get within an inch of the car to maneuver, that's fine, but for now, as this is all new and coming to fruition, just do the thing with a little bit more space. So I feel just an ounce more confident in what's happening, but that's almost more personal preference. I can't really fault it for that. Like, it's doing it fine. Okay, so coming up to a red here, we should do a full stop, and then I would, perfect, creep forward immediately. Okay, it's green light anyways. That felt really good though. We came to the full stop that we should have, and there was almost no pause to when we started moving forward again. So I'll have to actually like get a proper right on red to see, but for the most part, the beginning of that felt really good. And I don't know if it's because of all the pylons and stuff. We're going 49 and a 50, which it's arguable. Like, I feel like we're sort of in construction given the cones, given everything, but there is no reduced speed limit sign that I've seen. And we are on a highway. Yeah, so I can see there's a 50 limit that's out still. So it'd be good for the car to still probably go the speed limit. As much as it is nice that it's being cautious, it's kind of unnecessary. Okay, so we are in the left lane, going 57. We have a bunch of vehicles behind us. I'm gonna wait till this car passes us, and then I'm gonna try and signal right. So, tons of space. I'm signaling right. For this one, it worked. So it's strange that moments ago when I signaled and the lane was clear and we had somebody behind us that wanted to pass us, the car wouldn't change lanes. Pretty much the exact same circumstances, and the car did change lanes without any issues. Okay, so that bus, I can tell you, is going to pull over for that person that's standing there. Great job. Left turn signal, moving over, really good. And then right turn signal immediately and moving over. That was incredible. I would love that behavior to be consistent in the fact that like we're getting over for the thing that we need to and then popping right back into the right lane. So really good job there. I want to stop at McDonald's for a coffee, but I feel like I do it so often on this channel that I'm hesitant to. Okay, maybe I will actually, cause at stop McDonald's. This exact McDonald's, I think we've tried to pull into before, and I'm actually going to be like ready with the throttle or the accelerator. As we were like turning right into the parking lot, the car slammed on the brakes as we sort of, you'll see, like as we got onto the curb to get into the parking lot, the car got all freaked out and slammed on the brakes. So I'm curious if that's going to happen again here. Plus, I got to get a coffee, so it's a bonus. How fun would it be that when you select McDonald's, you can say, like, drive-through. And then it would know to find the drive-through and then navigate it. So locations that had drive-throughs, there was the, like, do you want to go to Chick-fil-A or do you want to go to Chick-fil-A drive-through? And then you select drive-through, so then when the car shows up to the location, it is like looking for the drive-through or knows it from its like routing. And then from that point on, I have no idea how it gets handled, but contextually does the drive-through properly. I'll ask this in the comments, but I'm also curious what you guys think. So my last video that I just posted, it really highlighted for me currently the like imperfect setup that I have right now, where I record with this camera, both the like full view as well as it captures the screen, and then I enlarge the screen. For like a few reasons that's not good, because I have to turn off stabilization in order for that to work. So then every little bump, that enlarged version of the screen gets moved around. Stabilizing it after the fact is just not really like realistic for me. So the like two solutions to that is, one, don't enlarge it, but then people will have like a much smaller screen to look at. Or two, I just need to get another, like a third GoPro set up here pointing at just the screen. I guess just let me know in the comments how much, oh, this should be full. How much do you guys like seeing the screen? Like, how important is this, the FSD visualization? I feel like it is important, and which is why I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of getting a third GoPro. I guess if even a couple of you say that the screen is the reason you watch this channel, then I'll probably get another GoPro just so I can do my best to make sure the reason you watch this channel is as good of quality as possible. Like, if you're here to see the visualizations and me talk about FSD and the screen is shaking, that's not enjoyable for you. So, yeah. And then I just have to figure out how to mount it and where to put it, but that's a problem for me. But okay, so I don't think that I wouldn't get in this light, right turn lane, no. I wonder if FSD will ever get good enough. So as a human, I know that popping in here and driving through, considering we just got a red light, would probably be quicker. A cab driver would definitely do that for you. An Uber driver could as well. I'm wondering if FSD will ever have that kind of a brain to kind of on the fly make routing decisions based off like lights, assuming it's legal. Like, you don't want it to pull through a parking lot to skip a right turn type deal, but in a situation like this, like, it would be entirely legal for me to go here and go here. Okay, so I'm just hoping it pulls in smoothly, because like I said, the last time I was here, and I'm not sure if I was recording it, but it kind of struggled pulling into this parking lot. Okay, good job. This McDonald's doesn't have oh, it does have a drive-thru. Okay, we don't have stop signs. Oh, it's like a weird roundabout. Okay, nice. Really good job here. Oh, reverse. That's bad. It should have been able to make that turn on its own. I think it was just being overly cautious. Good job, like, recovering really quickly, but it wasn't right for it to reverse there. So let's see what it does. We have a car behind us. I don't really want to. Oh shit. Okay, well, this is correct. I'm gonna take over because we're passing the drive-thru. I thought I was gonna pull into the drive-thru, which would have been really cool. So I'm going to re-engage FSD with it set to home and see what happens here. Oh, okay, let's try to get... I'm not going to fault it for that. I think it's not understanding that it thinks it's just like parked in an alley and it's trying to get out of here. I was hoping that it was going to like follow through with the drive-through. Okay, well, since it can't, I don't think I'll try one more time here. Okay, we have cars behind us, so we'll see. Let's see if FSD can do the whole drive-through without any intervention. And then after, pop us out onto the road and drive us home. That'd be incredible. Okay, so we should go forward, and if we stop here, that'd be amazing. So I'm pressing the accelerator. Okay, so FSD doesn't really do the drive-through fine, perfectly. So I'll see you guys. I'm just gonna fast forward, and I'll see you once I'm on the road. Okay, so just left the drive-through. I'm enabling FSD. Looks like we're gonna have to do that kind of roundabout to get back out. McDonald's won. I promised that I went here just for coffee, but there's this stupid new game. If you're from Canada, you might know. I think it's replacing McDonald's Monopoly, or it's very similar where you get this like code that you put in in the app. But I'm such a sucker for game pieces and stuff. And so I got fries. So I got to play the game one more time. It's like this little sticker that you pull off and you put in the app. Okay, so this is a situation where traffic is really backed up because of the tunnel. So we shouldn't go in front of this person. If it tries to, I'm going to disengage. I just don't like being rude. We should go between the Volvo and the black car. Again, this is something that is really easy to understand as a human, and I don't think it should be that hard for the car to understand. Like the car should see this car's merging, this car's next, and we'll track to go behind them. That's how any human would do it. That's how FSD should behave. Okay. I had to touch the accelerator because we weren't going. And I think it was going to just continue to wait. Maybe it would have gone, but like in these like high traffic scenarios, we should have been more aggressive in our intention. In the fact of, I appreciate that it didn't try and snake into the spot behind the car behind us, in front of us. But also we just sat there. Which also isn't ideal. Because no one's just going to stop and give you a huge gap. They're just going to kind of like allow you to roll in. So that's what the car needs to do. For those of you that don't live here, this is like an inverse of bridge traffic. It's just all these lanes go here and then merge down to a 2-lane tunnel that literally goes under the water. And then you spit back out the top. But the unique thing here, but we won't see it, is there's a third lane that counterflows. So there's times where you'll drive on the opposite side of the tunnel, time and day dependent. And that's actually where, if you've seen my video, I like came out of the tunnel, or came out and then was in this like third counterflow lane. And that's where I got in probably one of the closest like accidents that I ever have driving and with FSD. Was when I was in that third lane, it merged down and the car failed to like slow down for a lane that was ending and merge in properly. So it was like somewhere right around here where that happened. I'll even put the clip up because that was bad. It was very, 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 very bad. Damn. But this scenario was the closest that I've ever come to an accident with full self-driving. It was some version of version 12, though, I think. I don't think it was version 13. Small thing, we don't need to be getting in this lane. I think this lane even ends. I'll let this play itself out. Yes, I think what we did here was we merged into a lane that's about to merge back into this lane. So again, like so much of what I talk about, it's just minor things, but it's wrong. So it just feels weird when the car does it. We're not in danger. We're in danger of being embarrassed or honked at. So it's not like it's an unsafe thing. It's just an incorrect thing. Okay, so we are going slow. I might give the accelerator. We got like so much space to the car in front of us, but maybe it's fine. Okay, so I can see that this lane's ending, and I can kind of like track out where I would go. I would go behind this car because this Volvo is going to go there, most likely, if everybody did the right thing. And I appreciate that we're using like most of the zipper lane before merging over, which is really good. Because otherwise, if you do it too early, people go around you. So this is the correct, that was near flawless to have waited as long as we did and merged behind the car that we did. Okay, so I was just talking about the like issue I had driving here where it failed a merge. Like, I don't love the idea of putting the car in a bad situation again, and I'm going to be ready to take over, but I may semi-force it to happen again just to see if version 13.2.7 has any like improvements. So once this car goes by, I'm going to put it in hurry mode, which will undoubtedly put us into the left lane, which will then put us into, we're in hurry mode now, which will then put us into the third lane. I'll kind of explain it all as it happens. And the right like series of events will need to happen to see if this is still an issue or not. So this is the counterflow lane that comes in from the other side of the tunnel sometimes, and then they end up in this third lane. So FSD probably is going to try and put us in that lane. Because this is what happened last time. Is it put us over there. I'm just going to signal to put us over there. So FSD in the video where like I had an issue, it put us into this third lane. Okay? And so this is unique in the scenario. Jesus, it's like a white car and everything. See how this lane's ending and I can see that? Okay, well, we're lucky. Or not lucky, I guess you could say. So this lane's ending. And FSD, okay. The fact that it's like signaling and moving over as early as it did there is honestly a bit of signs to me that there's an improvement, because in the other video, I'm putting it back in standard. Holy, I forgot how to use it. We got to that part and the car wasn't even trying to merge. Maybe it was signaling, I don't know. But that's the whole situation where the car almost got me in an accident, but there just wasn't enough traffic there. So I didn't get kind of boxed out again. But I think what's unique about that, because when I put the clip online, so many people didn't understand the fact that we're in the left lane merging into a right lane rarely happens on the highway, but it is entirely our responsibility while in the left lane to move safely into the right lane, and the car previously didn't do that. So I do this part of the drive quite often. I'll try to force that situation anytime that I can, just to see if there is improvement or regression. And it happened, I think, like a week ago now. I got 1,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much for subscribing. Along with that comes I'm now able to like monetize the channel. I should Google this more, but I'm also just kind of asking because a lot of you are going to obviously see whatever the changes are. I just enabled everything that's like stickers and likes, all these things. I don't really expect you guys to use those. And then it talked about adding ads. But my understanding is, unless you have YouTube Premium, YouTube shows ads anyways. So I enabled that, and I'm hoping that there's no like downside for those of you that watch my channel. It would have been on the last video that I just uploaded, the test loop video, and this video. I'll have ticked the box or whatever that says to monetize the video. If it's like notably worse for whatever reason from the changes that I'm making, like let me know so that I don't like ruin the experience for you guys. Like the idea of making money off this is obviously really cool and fun, and then would allow me to like pay for more things like better cameras and like potentially get like an HDMI output for the screen. But I also don't want to make it unenjoyable to watch. I don't want the channel to be like riddled with ads or whatever. Yeah, so just let me know if you see any negative side effects to the fact that the channel is now monetized. Really good job though. We are in the fast lane, passing the slow cars exactly like I would. We are about, let's see, just over 2 seconds behind this car, close to 3, which this is exactly the distance that I would give. I love this distance, so really good to see that. We have a vehicle behind us, but they're far enough back that I don't feel like we're holding up traffic, and we're keeping with this car. So this is perfect. I'm, yeah, really happy with this. It's hard. Is it a placebo effect? Because maybe there isn't even actually any changes in this version related to the highway, but it does feel like we're giving us better distance as we've been driving. Okay, so now I would look at going and getting over. Beautiful. That was, we were kind of no longer tracking right behind the car in front of us, but now actually kind of awkward. Now I would get over or just be prepared to merge with these guys. Okay, that was good. I could 100% see how people would argue that both ways. I could see staying in the fast lane to avoid getting in this lane as cars are merging, but then it's also nice just to move out of the fast lane so people can get by, going in the slow lane, allowing traffic to merge with us, and then popping back into the fast lane. So I wouldn't say that either decision there would have been right or wrong, but I like how it handled what it did decide to do. And I doubt I'll get any responses on this, but so I was just in Mexico for work, and while I was there, very coincidentally, FSD released in Mexico, so now you can officially use full self-driving in Mexico. I'm very curious to hear if anybody that watches this, have any of you tried, or do you know anybody that has used full self-driving in Mexico? The traffic there is just insane. Like the way people drive, and they'll like literally pass on the shoulder. The roads aren't at all like they are in North America. So I'm just really curious how full self-driving handles that. I would assume that it does things legally and correct, but in doing so, it would almost be impossible to navigate that city, because almost nobody else drives legally in busy scenarios. It's not quite as crazy as like Thailand or India or whatever. Like it's not zipping in and out, but there is just a lot of different styles of traffic to what we have in North America. And I'm wondering, really curious to see how FSD is going to handle itself in situations like that. And there's a new update that just came out. I don't think I have it because the full self-driving update branch is like slightly different than the non-FSD branch. But they just got a feature where, so in here somewhere, it's I think out of the frame, but up near where like the hazard light and the dome lights are, there's a radar that detects human occupants in the cabin, as well as I'm sure other things they use it for, but they've just enabled it so that it will detect heart rate somehow, I have no idea how, and occupant size and like shape, and if there is an occupant in either seat, and then dynamically adjust the airbags as a result, which is a really, really, really fascinating technology, because Elon has kind of, in an interview before, said that, like, you know, there's a world where seatbelts won't even really be necessary because airbags are just going to be so good at, like, cocooning you into a safe scenario. I think this is just one kind of step towards that, where if the car is fully aware of, because if someone's sitting like this or sitting like this or driving like this or whatever, you're shaped differently for an airbag, which just kind of tries to, like, protect you. But if the car can deploy airbags different depending on how, because I'm a smaller person, so the airbag for me should be different than a person that's like another foot taller or 100 pounds heavier. Yeah, it's really, really, really interesting technology that I'm no doubt will save lives at some point as it gets, like, fleshed out and becomes perfect. It's really interesting. And then with that, but I think it's only for the new Model Y, because I think the radar is slightly better, but the idea also is that it's going to be able to detect occupants in the back seats, and that's twofold. Like, I think the idea is that, like, if you have a dog in the car and you've forgotten to put it on dog mode, it will, I would assume, enable dog mode for you. And if you leave a baby or a child in the back seat, because it has happened, absolutely, it'll alert you. Like, it'll send a critical alert to your phone to tell you, hey, like, you forgot your child in the back seat. And along with that, I'm certain that it would probably also throw on something similar to dog mode, but its main thing would be get you to come back to the car. That, again, is just a really cool, like, it's a really neat future that we live in, because, you know, there are horror stories, and I can't imagine how, really good job, by the way, here, getting around all this, of parents forgetting their children in the back seat of the car and going to work, and then the kid dying in the back seat, which it sounds like something like, how could that possibly happen? But it does happen, and you can't really, I mean, you can blame the parent, whatever, but, like, that complacency just exists. And the fact that we're getting to a point where technology will help that from ever happening again, it's really cool. It's neat that Tesla adds things with that in mind. They don't need to, and they do it just in the steps towards better safety for kind of everyone, right? It's neat. And I also think, because it was only in cars produced from 2021 or 2022 and beyond that had the radar installed, and I'm not sure exactly, like, the specifics, but my understanding, good job exiting here, by the way, speed feels great, this is very comfortable. My understanding is they're going to offer a free retrofit to all existing cars to put the radar in, which is massive. I don't know if they've ever really done anything like that before. So if you have a car that's from 2020 and you don't have the radar in, you make an appointment in the Tesla app and they'll put it in for you, which is really cool. They don't need to do that, and I think there's no cost. Again, don't quote me on this, it's all very new, but that's my understanding. Really good job exiting there, really good job slowing down. This is a small thing. I'd go into that lane. I might force it just because I don't want to get stuck behind this truck. Yeah, like, see how all these people are going into that lane? Yeah. Sorry, the memory card and that filled up, and I had to, like, swap one around, so should still be good. Yeah, cool. This will probably end up getting sped up because this is a pretty straight road with, like, terrible traffic. What I was trying to say there, but we're going to be in traffic regardless, so it's not like a lot of time would have been saved. There's two lanes. The lane on the left has a huge semi that's definitely going to be one of the slowest vehicles on this road. You could tell, like, two human drivers that were in this lane, like, competed to get around so they could merge on this road before that semi. This is all just me talking about the future, so I'm not really critiquing FSD for it right now. It would just be incredible if it, like, picked up on cues like that. Like, hey, there's a slow-moving vehicle in the left lane. I have time. Let's use the right lane to get around it. Because that's what humans will do when they drive. and to expect, I don't really care because I'm not in a rush, but the average person, if you were to throw them in this car and they were to be put into that scenario, they would be annoyed that the car didn't do that, because lots of people they're always in a rush, right? So if FSD, and maybe because I'm not in a hurry, I don't know, if FSD doesn't do the thing that the human would do, the human's going to get annoyed with it, is the unfortunate reality. And as long as it's safe, I think FSD should do the thing that the human wants to do. It's so hard because it's so like personal. And yeah, like as I'm saying all this, I'm realizing because I'm not in a hurry, maybe that's why I didn't do it. So to quickly throw it back to a question I was answering earlier in this video, like, is FSD more stressful to use than just driving like normal? And I kind of like struggled to give a straight answer. The reality also, though, it really depends on your drive. If you do a lot of commuting where you're in traffic like this, which I think a lot of people do, FSD is 1,000,000% less stressful to drive. In this type of traffic, I have unshakable trust in full self-driving, to the fact of like both my feet are very clearly away from the brake pedal, and like I'll almost certainly be able to sit here with my hands crossed for the rest of the 20 minutes before we turn left in 11 kilometers here, with almost no hesitation. Like this is why, and I've said it in videos in the past, I think this type of driving is probably the first glimpse at full self-driving unsupervised that we're going to get. I think if you're in speeds under whatever, 50 kilometers an hour, 40 kilometers an hour, and you're on long straight stretches especially, like it may not seem like much, but imagine if just for version 1, full self-driving unsupervised enabled for straight stretches of road where you're not driving over X speed limit. So, and that's obviously sounds like a narrow window, but for me, that's the next 11 kilometers, which is probably going to be at least 15 minutes. So I don't think all roads will be unsupervised initially, but I would trust the car to do it so much right now that if it gave me the option, like literally right now, I would turn on YouTube and sit here like this and just watch it, because like it's not going to make a mistake right now, in my opinion. So that's why I think that this style driving, if you're doing this type of driving, doing this type of commuting lots, FSD is insane. It's so incredibly worth it, because it makes stop and go traffic a bajillion times more enjoyable. Because you can just, I mean, I literally have a podcast on and you kind of just chill and hang out, which maybe it looks boring, but you know what's more boring is like driving and like foot on, foot off, foot on, foot off. Like that isn't fun either. Like this is at least relaxing. No matter what, it's boring. You're stuck in traffic, but at least this is relaxing.
And suddenly you're looking around and thinking.
Okay, very human-like, but pretty aggressive to be honest, to like pop over as early as we did. That was good though. I didn't expect that, but that's what the car behind us did. So yeah, nice job there, cutting left as early as we did to get into this lane. Yeah, it was really good. And then as long as we go right after this vehicle before the next truck, it's flawless. Nice, really good job there. And yeah, like I would have fast forwarded it, but what I just drove, I don't know how long that was timing wise, probably 15 minutes. That was all such simple driving for FSD that's where I was saying unsupervised doesn't seem that far off for that type of roadway, because it's just so capable. Like I have the utmost trust in it as it was doing what it was just doing there. Okay, this truck's turning super wide into our lane, which is fine, and the car's doing a really good job. We're slowing down really nice and early, and now we're taking a little bit to slow. Okay, we're slow. We're very slow. I'm gonna press the accelerator. So that was really good that it slowed down for the truck. Obviously appreciate the giving it space to make its turn. But then well after the truck had turned, we hung out at 30 kilometers an hour with showing no signs of speeding back up to a regular, more appropriate speed. I might have let that go a little bit longer, but there's a person right behind us, so I just didn't want to annoy somebody. So yeah, not safety critical, but a little bit of an intervention there with the car just being overly cautious after the fact. And then, I don't know if I've said it in the video. If I did, I apologize for doubling up. So last night, when my wife picked me up at the airport, she's really hasn't driven much, but she was saying she was trying to use FSD, and it was giving her the red hands warning, and the system was failing basically. And she showed me she tried and it said auto steer temporarily currently unavailable, and then finally gave put the steering this little icon on the screen. So I was okay, we'll try it now. And then she was able to use FSD for 2 minutes, and then it gave the red hands warning, and said abort, system failure, whatever the exact message is, please take over immediately. And I recalibrated the cameras, and we went into park, recalibrated the cameras, and tried FSD again, and it gave the error again, the red hands. Everything was clean. I went out and I wiped everything. So, and then this morning, honestly, when I made my first test loop video, I was half expecting it to just not even work. I have a service request in for Friday next week because I thought something was critically wrong with the car. I mean, it's obviously working because I've driven over 2 hours now without it failing. I just don't understand why it was so broken. I recalibrated the cameras and it still was failing, but now this morning it's just perfect. That's kind of a long-winded version of me saying, for the issues that I still have, people oftentimes tell me to recalibrate my cameras. These are freshly recalibrated cameras, so any issues that do happen still, it's not a camera calibration issue. I also am very much of the mindset that camera calibration is not a fix for many of the issues that FSD has today. I think FSD's issues are completely separate of what a camera calibration would fix. Not to say camera calibration wouldn't fix something, but I think most of the slow speeds, navigation issues, XYZ, that's all completely unrelated to the camera. Okay, slowing down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, go. Perfect. That was really good. No awkward pause. We'll see what it does here at the next stop sign. For those of you that are still here, hopefully I've been able to compress this video enough that it's not boring to watch, because it was a pretty simple drive, but it was just my first long drive on 13.2.7, so I wanted to kind of talk about anything that came up in my overall impressions. I appreciate you watching the video. I'll try to do some more enticing content in the future with this version. Just quickly for this stop sign. So, I don't know. I think he would go first. Okay. Wow. That was very, very, that both him and I stopped at the same time. And usually in that scenario, FSD is the one to wait and let the other vehicle go first, but it's really good. We stopped. There was there was maybe half of a second of an awkward pause, and Full Self-Driving just took the initiative and went, so well done there. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. Really appreciate it. I will see you guys all on the next one. And yeah, to sum it up, the drive was really good. few speed control issues. I mean, you'll know because you've just watched it, but nothing really. I mean, the car did incredible. It did it honestly very incredible, and I'm sorry for all the negative that I do give it, because at the end of the day, this is insane. Tesla AI, you people are incredible. But ciao.